Week number 3 in our 10-week series, Becoming Like Jesus. Remember, I've said it every time and I'll keep saying it, take time to do this however long your group needs, but also spend time in relationship with your students. Relationship and discipleship will equal fruit that remains in long-lasting relationship with Jesus and with you and your students. So the topic for week 3 is you have a guide. The passage is Psalms 119, 105. Your word is a lamp to guide my feet and a light to my path. The group leader application here is share about a time when God has guided you in a decision you had to make. Again, personal examples, you can put whatever you want here, but the goal of this example is where God guided you through his word, through prayer, through wise counsel, through God just opening a miraculous door. But we want to share a moment where God has guided you. Share about a time when you were not as close to God and as you would have liked to be and needed to get back on track. So this is the other end of that, where you can share like, man, I was making decisions without God's guidance. I was making decisions without wisdom, and talk about how you got back on track again. Talk about the power of community and group. Talk about the power of God's presence. Talk about hearing from God and hearing his voice. As far as discussion questions go, how do you know when you're straying off the path God has for you? If the Bible is a guide, why do we not read it as much? How often do we look at how we're walking in relationship with Jesus? Again, big questions, they're just some ideas, but the goal is to get students thinking about the value of God's word as a guide. Application is reading the verse of the day on the YouVersion app or reading a psalm or Proverbs as you start your day. Again, remember, parents are also getting a video that go along with this, and so they're going to be telling their student, hey, what option did you choose? Are you going to read in the YouVersion app? Are you going to do a Proverbs or a Psalms? Again, the goal here is for them to pick one that works best for them. Now, as a group, if you decide, go ahead and decide with the group, but make sure students are making a choice of which one they're going to do. Don't force them, but if anything, just make sure you follow up with the parent afterwards and said, hey, they didn't choose in group. Wanted to make sure I followed up with you to see which option they chose. The closing statement, where we're going to land that plane, is when we're feeling like we're lost or have no traction in our relationship with God. Reading his word, the Bible, is a great way to get that traction again and learning more about ourselves and how to become like Jesus.